Nolly on the track, boy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Mate con Franca. We've got a guest today you'll hear about shortly. Please make sure you're following us on all the socials at Dr. Franca Ph.D, at Anticonquista, follow at Real Francamente, check out TikTok, join the Discord, follow us on Tubes. Of the use go to Apple Podcast, Spotify, leave us good ratings and reviews, support us, support our work. Okay, this is literally a labor of love and y'all make it worth it. So thank you so much for being here for another episode of Mate con Franca, and I'm happy to bring you the best guest ever. My God. Oh my God. Who do we have on today? You guys, it can't keep getting better. Like, it can't keep getting better. I don't understand how I'm so lucky to be surrounded by the best people in the world. And today we have on, I don't even know how to do this without crying. The greatest artist on the planet, who's responsible for all of our logos, all of our websites, all of our podcasts, because there's multiple. Buy it's your food content. This is the crossover you didn't know you needed. Okay, she's the editor. She's the life coach. She's the therapist. She's the #1 fan of Real Francamente and Mate con Franca. She gets the vibes. She feels the vibes. She looks at every single episode. Look, the editor today is going to have quite a time figuring out what to keep and what to cut. And I'm so happy to have with you of Elise made, Elise Lopez. Welcome to the pod.
Oh my God, hi.
Welcome to being front of camera instead of back of camera support.
Oh, well, here's a little behind the scenes of where I edit all the podcasts. So there's a little
The people are getting a glimpse. How does it feel to be in the front of the camera?
POV. It feels very strange. I'm like a very nervous, introverted person, so this is a lot, but I love you so much, and we always have so much to talk and rant about, so
I love you. I love you literally so much. You're the greatest person on the planet. You guys, you're getting a POV, a behind the scenes of what the editor's room, the cutting room floor, and whatever Lizzo said looks like. That's it. That is the behind the scenes.
It is a garage. Yes.
If you're not watching on YouTube, first of all, the first treat is that Elise is currently knitting. I need y'all to watch on YouTube just to see that Elise is multitasking because she's a brilliant queen. And it is turkey hat season for those that don't know. And so we're multitasking. We're multitasking because we are lamenting the end of the world.
Yeah.
We are being gorgeous queens.
Always.
And we're knitting.
Never not knitting.
Never not knitting.
You know this.
I literally love this about Elise. Elise always brings, and I always get POV, behind the scenes, exclusive footage of her and bringing legit knitting everywhere she goes. I've seen it in person, and I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, I can't live without it. It's like I'm an anxious person too, so I like to have my hands busy. It kind of makes me feel like calm and focused. And I think maybe some people think that it's like rude, or like I'm not paying attention. But when my hands are busy, I feel like so much more focused. You know what I mean? I was like the perpetual doodler, like in lectures and stuff like that,
Well, obviously, because you're an artist. But I was going to say, I also fidget. I have ADHD. So I get it because sometimes I'm playing with like a whatever fidget toy I have, Or like if I'm at a restaurant, I'm making like little paper balls out of the straw wrapper or like whatever. I'm
Yes.
always doing something. And then I'm like, yeah, people probably think I'm being rude, but who cares?
Yeah.
And you know what? Fuck being nice. We're tired of it.
I'm tired.
Not that I've ever been nice, but
You're nice to me.
okay. Speaking of nice and not nice and never been nice and always been rude, this is also the first time our listeners, this is our first post election anything that's
Can you
going
believe
out
it?
publicly on record. And look, we had a beautiful Zoom. By the way, if our listeners are interested in joining us, this is an ongoing thing. We are radicalizing and being radicalized and mobilizing and starting the revolution. Join
It
us.
was
Shoot us a
amazing.
message.
It was
It
so
was
amazing.
it was therapeutic. Like
Yeah.
30 people showed up from all over the
So
country.
unbelievable.
Literally. Like that's the power of community. Um
You're building it right here.
we're building it. Um the most important part was that everyone praised me. So as long as there's that,
Yes, don't forget.
don't forget to praise me at all times. So Trump won.
Yeah.
Look, the last time I did an episode of Mate con Franca, shouts to Vanessa, we talked about the election in a pre-election vibe.
Yeah.
And now, here we are. I knew this. I think we both knew, right, that this was going to happen.
Yeah, my big thing, I think I told you this already, but it was like once I started to see all the really cringe like merch is really when I knew. The one that really pissed me off was the row your vote. Just really, I'm already getting fired up just thinking about it. Really
This
made
is
me
the podcast
angry.
to get fired up on. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's just like I think you could make the argument that wearing stuff like that is more harmful than helpful. Um, yeah, so that's about what
Agreed.
I knew.
And there's something, predatory about trying to capitalize off a moment like that, especially when y'all had 4 years to codify Roe and you didn't do it.
Sending me endless solicitation text messages for donations and then also selling cringe t-shirts. It's too much for me. And you
And
lost.
then I saw like a statistic today. I don't really care about the numbers, but it was like however many billions they raised or like whatever it was. I think they spent like 450 million a day or something like that on just one ad on the Las Vegas Strip.
In the Sphere or whatever. I
I
think
don't
it
know if
was
it
the
was in the
Sphere.
maybe it might have been it might have been the Sphere. It was I didn't see specifics on it, but
I saw that on Twitter, so this is not factual, based in facts at all.
r-
It's based in Twitter.
it's based in Twitter. It could have been the Sphere. Um so spending all that money, like, that could have gone to actual, mutual aid, but we'll get to that. Um, for what? Getting all these endorsements from Taylor Swift for what? From all these fucking nasty ass liberal bitches. Look, we
Like
have
you even had to
got
drag it out of her. We're not Swifties over here, but like they had to drag it out of her.
literally,
I
literally.
mean,
Our Queen Chapel Rowan, by the way, did the right thing.
I agree.
Um, they tried to get her, but she said, fuck that. Um, then I saw libs coming for her and being like, you're the reason Trump won. Bitch, if you don't shut the fuck up entirely in with the swiftness, um,
They're just as brainwashed. It's really frustrating.
they're literally brainwashed and it's stressful. And so like I knew all along that he was gonna win. And I told everyone, and a lot of people were like, nah, she's wrong. I actually got a lot of messages after the election telling me that I was right. And like, look, I didn't want to be right about I love being right.
No, no. But it is a relief, right?
I'm always right.
Like no. Ooh. I
No,
don't
but
know. I
it's a
just feel
relief.
relieved.
I feel relieved. Yeah, I feel relieved too. I didn't want to be right about it, but I was, and here we are. And it's a relief for those of us that have been doing this work our whole lives and understand that liberals are not going to save us.
No. Nope. They're barely gonna help us, even.
Why exactly? Why do you feel relief? Talk about it.
Well, like I said, the cringe merch, and then I'm like, all right, it's gonna happen. And what's worse, like everybody kicking up their feet and going, oh, thank God. democratic rule, let's go back to brunch, like that's really dangerous because the policy was not different. The rights were still going to be stripped away just with like the pride flag sticker, like the meme. And fuck that, man. Like I don't want people
Yeah.
sitting at brunch. I want people mad in the streets. And it's hard sometimes. Like I know you probably get frustrated, or it's frustrating to be you and see people like brand new on day one. But yeah, I guess we gotta like embrace everybody, like even if you're brand new, welcome. Because
Yeah, I'll be
I'm happy to see people at least like fired up, even if it's their first time.
correct, correct. Look, I get pissed off, and in like our spaces of liberation, I will be like, yo, fuck these bitches, right? But the reality is that it's
I
true.
don't really
As
mean that.
long I don't I do mean it, but but it's true that if we want to materially change anything at all, we're gonna have to welcome some of those bitches. Now,
Right.
they have,
I just
in
want to
my
convert
opinion,
people.
correct. In my opinion, they have to want to. Like, what I don't want is the type of thing of them trying to be like, oh, but this and whatever and whatever. Like, we're not crying about Kamala, okay, because she's a cop and she's genocidal. Let's also take a second to mention the fact that people want progressive policies.
Yeah.
Because in places where progressive policies won, but so did Trump, it shows that if there had just been an ounce of progressivism
They
in
were
any of,
explicitly anti-genocide, explicitly pro-Palestinian, and they were reelected. And
or even
yeah,
explicitly, like, because they didn't talk about immigration, they didn't talk about healthcare, like even those things, anything, like literally anything that they had explicitly just like embraced. The liberals, the Democrats ran on just not being Trump,
right.
and that's just not enough. It's just not enough, and we have to move past that binary.
Yeah. We didn't even get
So
a
it's
primary. We didn't even
right.
choose her.
We didn't get correct. We did not get a primary. We like Biden's fucking old ass bitch ass corp ass bitch ass body.
Everybody who claimed her. Every single
Like
person. If you claimed her, I'm so mad at you. Like
correct.
one bean rattling around, just, you know?
Biden totally like waited way too long to drop out. We all knew you were a corpse. We all knew you were
He's,
being weekend at Bernie'd. Like
they have like a button where they can like inject sleepiness or like lucidity, or you know what I mean? It's just,
and then y'all
it's
waited too long. We
hydraulics.
didn't have a primary. It was a big old mess. It was a big old mess. Even if they had, I mean, I'm obviously also in the relieved boat because I think this will fire people up. I hope the momentum continues. I hope people don't like get bored. We have to also acknowledge that things are going to get really bad
Yeah.
for some folks. We also look, and shouts to Anticonquista. Like joining the Anticonquista network has been like one of the greatest things, and finding my people. And shouts especially to Victor, whom I met last night as of time of recording in person. And and I bring this up because we were talking about this, right? Like the U.S. doesn't know suffering.
Oh my God. Like, not at all.
United Stations don't know suffering. Liberals are gonna get on their high horse and be like, privilege, privilege, privilege. I will like remind everyone that I was born in dictatorship. Okay, so that's what I mean is that there has never been a moment because we're in the belly of the beast.
I was
The
born in
United States.
Massachusetts. That's not equivalent.
I was born in dictatorship. I was born in Massachusetts. Um, the United States is the biggest imperialist bully in the world.
Yeah.
So we're in the belly of the beast. And so we have to realize that like the reason why people don't wake up here and we don't have class consciousness here is because they are not hungry enough.
And the
Of
brainwashing goes so deep, something that was so disturbing this election was just seeing how many people will toe that liberal democratic line of like save women, protect gay and trans people, when the literal policy says we want to kill you. Like
correct.
out their mouths. I'm not even like I'm not reaching, you know?
Right, right. And
And
that's the thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
just extreme cognitive dissonance on a level maybe we've never seen.
Extreme cognitive dissonance, extreme, like, so I saw so many white ladies of those white liberals, like privileged white liberals, being like, I need to take a break after this election. I'm traumatized. Bitch, if you don't take several seats,
This is such a good crossover too, because obviously, like in the Zoom, someone brought up the pink pussy hats, and that was like such a knitter phenomenon that like pisses me off so much. Like I fucking hate the pink pussy hats, obviously, because there's no such thing as a peaceful protest. That's called a parade. Fuck you. And now they're doing the blue bracelet or whatever. Like I
oh
just
my
can't.
God.
That's not craftivism. Um, I do not stand by that as a knitter. I do not co-sign that.
The blue bracelet thing, the pink pussy hat thing, and they're actually back. The pink pussy hats are back.
I'm
I
sure I'm
have
gonna see yeah.
they're back. I heard someone that went to DC, I forget who it was, that was like, "Oh yeah, they literally went to brunch." These are tourists from outside the country. So they literally went to DC, they went to brunch and they saw people wearing those hats.
Cool.
So
Hate that.
already that movement was super exclusive. That women's march was extremely white, like because white feminism is not it. Um and now you've got these bracelets. I'm glad you brought up the bracelets. What the fuck is that? I
It's
don't know
just
if
like
I'm
it's like virtue signaling, right? They just want to feel good. They just want to go out and feel like they're not part of the problem when they are.
Mhm.
And one of my knitter friends wrote something that really stuck with me. Like, why should you have to signal to someone that you're a safe person, you know, with a bracelet? Like, people should just know.
Right. Right. People should just know. And I've seen mostly marginalized women like speaking against it to be like, this is the black squares from Black Lives Matter all over again. Like, this is,
Yeah.
again, the pink pussy hats, like all this, like, they are superficial. Like, they don't know. The typical United Station liberal lives in such a bubble, like, such like a brainwashed bubble that they genuinely are that delulu that they think that that's okay to do.
Yeah. From my standpoint too, it bothers me because it's like it's also driving capitalism. Like you're going out and buying things for your activism, which feels weird to me. Not that I don't like support buying yarn from small businesses or all those things, but you know what I mean? It's like, why do we have to go out and buy things to like make a statement or whatever?
Right. Right. And it's also it's like their comfortable way. They don't have to take to the streets. They don't have to march. They don't have to in any way like sacrifice any comfort. They just have to wear a bracelet. Like just wear a bracelet. And that's the thing. And I'm glad you brought up capitalism because that's the thing, right? Like they don't know because like those are the same people that are against, for example, the watermelon or any sort of keffiyeh or any sort of like statement for Palestine, right? But they're
Yeah.
like the first in line to like buy the blue yarn or whatever it is to like make the bracelets.
Yeah. Or the Kamala merch or anything like that. Oh yeah.
And that is
Gleeful.
the correct. And that's the like the I guess the hypocrisy. And I guess if we really break it down, it's not hypocritical because liberalism is rooted in capitalism, right? So they are capitalists. So they really don't go off any sort of theory or thought or critical thinking, like just vibes, and their vibes are ugly.
As long as I
But
look good in the streets, but I'm paying lower taxes, I'm happy.
right, right.
Yeah.
So they are just not about it in any sort of way. So it's actually consistent with their values if you think about it, which is why we need to abolish the whole shit.
Yeah. Burn it down.
Burn it all. I'm ready. I won't say the thing that will get us CIA visits at our home, but you know what I'm ready to you know what I'm ready for.
I had to stop myself a couple times already, so
We just say the word. We just say the word and I'm there. So yeah, it's frustrating. And when we were getting prepared to like record this, I was like, and like you were like, "Oh, I'm stressed." I was like, "Why? Literally nothing matters." Literally
it
nothing matters.
does.
And what I
Yeah. Go ahead.
And what I mean is that, like, of course, everything matters, but like, we are literally already doing the things. You know what I mean? Like, we're already doing the things. You are actually probably one of the people in that I've ever met that does like literal mutual aid forever, all the time, no matter who's in office. And I actually don't even mean mutual aid of the sort that we're thinking of, like which we'll get to in a second, because I know we've got thoughts. Um, but you do all of the free labor for any of this to exist, right? Like my website since the beginning, the design, the editing of all the podcasts, like all that stuff is free labor, and it does fall under mutual aid.
Hell yeah.
It,
And I do it with pride.
and I think that like there's something to be said about like obviously like if I ever get rich, which and the reason I don't is because I also participate in mutual aid whenever possible.
Yes, I am
But
not rich. I'm an artist, right? And I just feel sometimes like I'm not built for this, you know?
but
But I can,
but
right?
you
And
are.
I guess I
And
am because no one else is doing it, Franca.
literally no one else is doing it. But I think that like donating in the like your labor like is so meaningful in the sense that like you believe in a project so much that like that's mutual aid too. Mutual aid, you know, we have to unpack it because I actually realized last night also in a meeting, in that meeting I was talking about, that like some people really don't know what mutual aid is, and we're not mad at them. It's on purpose that the system keeps us from understanding what mutual aid is. It's inherently an anarchist idea, but or like, and it's anti-hierarchical, right? But um but we're doing it. We're always, anytime we do something, and look, we need to pay people for their labor, especially marginalized people, and that's because we're forced to exist under capitalism. But on a fundamental decolonization level, like doing things for the people that you love and believe in, like as labor, you know, that is mutual aid. Like that's how we function in societies before colonization. Everyone did something for each other here and there, and like that was it. There was no money, you know?
Yeah. And you and I were just having this conversation, and me and my husband Daryl were just having this conversation about how like we're all born with like an innate skill. You know what I mean? Like all humans are born with something that they're just inherently good at. And when you think about like mutual aid, those are the kinds of things that you can bring to the table, right? Like I have free time and a laptop. Well, I can do graphic design work for you. You know, it's that simple.
Shouts to D'Lo. Who is
Dilo.
literally always involved too in all of the dramas, in all of the, you know, everything. He's always around. And my favorite, I let me tell an anecdote about D'Lo real quick because it's hilarious and we need a little comic relief. Okay, the other day, Elise and I were very enthralled in a dramatic conversation, probably about a boy, who shall not be named, and in the midst of that drama, we're sending voice notes back and forth, and Elise goes, D'Lo has something to say. D'Lo just needed to tell me in that moment that he had acquired a variety pack of Entenmann's donuts.
That is correct.
And
One, couple plain, some powdered, and some chocolate covered. Yes.
which is the chocolate covered unanimously for all three of us is the fave, like hands down. And so I told D'Lo, like, next time just get chocolate. Like now we know, you know?
I agree.
But
I
that's
need a
just the
powder, but
kind
it
of,
wasn't great.
look, we hate men. We hate all men. But sometimes, but look, when they all get the wall, D'Lo can get labor camps.
Yeah, it's the Tony Hawk meme, you know? The race war Tony Hawk meme. We go too deep in the internet.
I
don't know if people are going to get our references.
We are chronically online, and it's hilarious because D'Lo's chronically offline. So, like, I just love it.
It's true.
I just love it. It's great. Let's go to a little break. Let's go to a little break, and then we'll come back and get into the good stuff. Barcelona lost.
Oh my God.
I'm crying. Literally, I can't have one thing. Okay, it's fine.
No, I understand. Why?
Just one thing. I don't
Why are
ask
we
for that.
being punished in this way?
Why are we being punished in this
We're
way?
good
Literally,
people.
we literally are good people. You know, do you remember Snooki being like, "I'm a good fucking person," and she was getting arrested? That's literally us. Shouts to Jersey Shore. Have a good.
Don't say
Have a good.
anything to cops when you get arrested. Even
That's
if you are a good
literally
person.
like exactly. If she was based, she would have known that. She would have known that. Abolish cops. Um, so we're back. We're back. I have a little like poem kind of that I think is perfect because it encompasses all of our shared philosophies on the importance of art. And look, and fundamentally, like everything else that Elise is so amazing and important, but like she is like the artist. You know what I mean? Like I'm not just saying that to blow smoke up your ass. Like it's an art because being an artist isn't just about what you create, but it's a philosophy. Okay. And it's a way to resist and it's a way to be it. Look, let me read this poem. We've always said this, right? Like art is inherently anti-fascist. And that's why the first people they come for in dictatorships is artists, because they make you think and feel. And fascists don't like that. So you're gonna go off, but I'm gonna read this little poem, which has really just made me so inspired today. Every single day I see at least one thing that inspires me. So I'm grateful to that, to the universe. Thank you so much. And this is a poem by Arundhati Roy. Okay. And it says, our strategy should not be only to confront empire, but to lay siege to it, to deprive it of oxygen, to shame it, to mock it with our art, our literature, our music, our stubbornness, our joy, our brilliance, our sheer relentlessness, and our ability to tell our own stories. Another world is not only possible, she is on her way. A quiet day, I can hear her breathing.
It's beautiful.
Is that not the philosophy? Like, art will save us
Yeah.
and does save us every time, right?
True
Like,
art.
look,
Yeah.
and every empire has fallen. There's no reason this one won't too, inshallah. Okay. Um, what do you talk to us?
Wow. Um, you know, I'm I'm a multidisciplinary artist, but mostly a fiber artist, which is really rooted in like women's craft. So that's something I'm really passionate about and something that doesn't get like proper respect in the art world. People usually think about artists as like painters or sculptors, especially like great men of, antiquity and beyond, the Renaissance, etc. But knitters and crocheters and sewers and quilters and those people are artists too, and they're usually mostly women. I think that's really important.
And they're the ones that historically have kept us clothed.
Right. Yeah. I
I
love to tell people that like all fabric in the world is either knit or woven, like even the t-shirt and your jeans. So caring about these things is really important.
What does it look like to have like the intersection of art and like radical politics? Radical for the US. What does that intersection like look like? What are ways that you express yourself?
I'm a person that cares a lot about the planet. I'm definitely like a nature girly. I care about saving the earth. I care a lot about the climate emergency that we're living under. A radical crafter or knitter or maker to me would be someone that is looking to support things that are local to them, local farms, local dyers, local businesses, things like that, and using your craft to affect people in positive ways, share, teach, learn, don't gatekeep, encourage people. Making clothes and making things is radical because it's sustainable, it's anti-capitalist because you're buying materials, but you're seizing the literal means of production. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Do you mayhaps have any plans to start a radical any like I have no I just thought of this. You might want to consider starting a radical crafting
Radical
group.
Crafters Club. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that has, I'm just gonna just be honest that like, especially as like a nervous, introverted person, I'm an artist and I feel like I was forced to be on social media and on the internet like against my will. And like it took me so long to just like share a photo of myself. Like doing this is a big deal, I've come a long way. um but
Proud of
like,
you.
I feel like I'm not built for this, you know what I mean? I'm not built to like be the leader of a group, or like it's something that, you feel like you sit around and you're waiting to see it come along. Like, where are my people? Where is this group that I want to join? Where does it exist? And you wait and you wait and you wait. um and then maybe one day you realize, God damn it, I have to fucking start it. Let's go.
God damn it, I have to fucking start it. Story of our lives.
The people are out there, man, but they need to be organized.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm starting to realize that that might be one of my skills.
Absolutely. Absolutely agreed. I think that I have always known this about you. And so I think one of the things that's important too is like, look, Rich goes along, and I talk about this obviously as it pertains to football a lot, but like Rich goes along with arrogance. And arrogance and ego are the things that keep, I think, another barrier to making good art is like if you're an arrogant fucking asshole, it's not good. It doesn't translate to good art, right? And you're like a humble
Totally.
queen. And so being a humble queen means that like you want to do something like this not for you or for anyone. Cause honestly, both I also would rather not be the sole person in our community. Um No, shouts to everyone that's doing amazing work, but like genuinely, why did nothing exist before this? Why did it take Trump being elected for the shit to pop off, you know? But I digress. But
But then it's
being a humble
frustrating
queen,
too when you do decide to start things. You can start to see the difference between, I mean, some of us always see between the lines, but like you start to see the difference between, people that talk about it and people that be about it. Because it's one thing to, post and share and like and all these things and donate or whatever, but it's got to be more than that. You have to care. You have to really care. And you can't, I don't know, you either do or you don't, right? It's hard to teach people that.
yeah, I mean, everybody want to be about it till it's time to be about it.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
literally what I have found. And there's a lot of haters. There's a lot of haters, and haters are like obsessed with us, right? Like, and it's because you know why? And I learned this early on, unfortunately, but like haters are envious. Like haters are envious that they don't have whatever it takes to do. Look, I'm just a regular person.
Do you think I like being cringe on the internet? It kills me inside, but like this is what it is. And hating on people for just trying to like express themselves or put themselves out there or share their art is super weird. Like just support people. And
Right.
it's really difficult to put yourself out there and share photos of yourself and be vulnerable and all those things, and we should support people that do that.
And especially if it's your art because it's like your baby. I have so many of your art pieces. I have literally pieces of clothing that are like like one of a kind designs. Like, and it's such like a meaningful thing. Every time I receive a package from Elise, it's literally like Christmas because I know there's gonna be so many more goodies, like whether it's candles, whether it's earrings, whether it's clothing, like there's something to be said about handmade with love, but also professional. Like literally, it's like it is the most professional stuff that you've ever seen. And like my mom's received stuff, and like she has always been around the knitting space and the creating space. And like the first time she sees something, she's like, "This is literally professional." I'm like, "Well, what do you think?" Now,
Oh my
But like for
God.
real, it's like, professionally, like I don't even know the terms, but I'm not even gonna embarrass myself. But the fact is that like when you put your whole heart and soul into something, it shows. And like when you're creating for creating's sake and not for clout and not for money, which is
Right.
unfortunate because we got to go back to that because like why isn't there money in art? It's because again, the money is all going to science and like that STEM field because the STEM field is the one that's creating fucking war tanks. So of course they're not going to fund the arts because as far as capitalism's concerned, it is not productive. But let's look at the societies that are not capitalist and how they fund their artists, okay? Like Cuba has some of the greatest musicians of all time, okay? And that was by design after the Cuban Revolution. There was a lot of funding going into arts, music, all the arts, okay? And that's by design. Communities that care about humans more than money create the best artists in the world.
And
And we
people like it does enrich your life in so many ways that you don't think about it. Like think about a world without music. Think about a world without like color and good aesthetics and design and how cold and harsh and terrible that is. You know what I mean? Just soulless, absolutely soulless. And I don't want to live in a world like that.
and people love to talk about aesthetic and be like aesthetic girlies and whatever. And it's like, y'all, if you had just 1 ounce of like put his like whatever theory you want to call it, critical, even just critical thought, you would realize that the reason why certain aesthetics are appealing to you is everything that we're talking about. Like no robot. Look, we joke around this around about this a lot. There's a lot of memes that are like a robot couldn't have created this, and it's like the most ridiculous meme on the planet. But it's true. Like they can try and try and try all they want. Like AI
It's
is not
trash.
ever, it's trash and it's
It's
not ever going to
trash.
create a masterpiece.
And it is also killing the planet. I read something that it uses something like 25 gallons of water every time you make a search on Chat GPT. Stop using it. Don't use it for anything. Not for image generation, not for email writing, not for research. It's not even a research tool. Like, please abolish AI. Stop using it. Don't use anything
Thank
generative
you.
AI on Instagram. Don't use it to write your captions. Every time I see on Instagram helped with AI, fucking follow. Knock it off.
Yes, let's go. Millennial hearts. I mean, sorry, baby hearts. Gen Z
Boomer
hearts.
hearts or whatever.
Literally,
Gen X hearts.
that's the breakout clip of the episode because literally, like I posted about this the other day on LinkedIn because I have to be on LinkedIn and I fucking hate it. But like, they are all about it there and all those little
Ugh,
spaces of like coaching and business, whatever. Like, use AI. Don't fucking use AI. If you can't generate an email without it, we got to have a different discussion. And as an
open the
educator, I see
schools.
this all the time. We can't even do a 1 page reflection
We're
without
missing the
turning to
recipes.
AI
Yeah,
and chat GPT. And I'm like, don't do it. I just want to hear your thoughts, your emotions. Like we're reading robots shit and everyone's jumping on a bandwagon. I posted the other day on LinkedIn. I said, we jumped on a bandwagon too quick and AI is bad in every single way. I don't know, like those like
every
business
way.
people are probably like just like rolling over in their like little cubicles, but I'm like I can't, I don't know. It's like I feel like a boomer sitting on a stoop screaming about like kids these days, but like this is my heart, this is my red line.
Yeah, it's literally killing us, like
It's killing
actively.
us. And it's by design that it's killing creativity. Because
And
look,
jobs.
another whole thing is that like create robots to do the jobs that people are doing for $1 a day.
Oh, please clean my toilet so I can make art.
That
Please.
look at what a simple question, and this has been blowing people's minds in all my circles recently when I've asked this. I mean, not all my circles of folks who aren't there yet. Okay, I'll say like, imagine like what would your day look like if all of your needs were met? It blows their minds, which feels so obvious to us, but think about it. You know what a big response is? They could draw.
Yeah, imagine how many more amazing musicians and artists, painters, directors, filmmakers, all of the above we would have in this world if people were not struggling under the boot of capitalism, just struggling to live.
Literally. Literally. So like that's the bottom line is that like art is inherently anti-fascist for that reason and inherently anti-imperialist for that reason. Look, before colonization, our ancestors, those of us that aren't fully colonized, right? Like our ancestors were Our ancestors, it's okay if you came on the Mayflower, all right? You rebelled. Our ancestors were creating art. What are hieroglyphics? What is oral histories and stories? They sat around and told each other their family's whole histories. Then colonizers came and said, if it's not written down in a book, it doesn't count. Bitch. Like, that was art. Music, dances, the indigenous ceremonies that survived, like that's art. Like art is like everything. And so I have a literal piece work of art tattooed on me. Like I always say this, I'm like, you can't have a functioning society. All of y'all would fall apart if you couldn't have your little headphones in on the bus and on the train, okay, listening to your little music. And what does that look like without art? Those few times that they've had those like AI created songs or whatever, they're trash. You know what I mean? Like, I think this is the thing that the revolution has to center
Yeah.
is like these types of ideas.
I'm so glad you brought up your tattoo also, because it's so important to start viewing art outside of a Western lens also. Like music, for example, a lot of music is filtered through that Western European kind of rigid system. And I'm not like a music theory person or whatever, but like, you know, listen to African music, listen to the music of Black people. It's different. It's suppressed by, well, not so much anymore, but in certain genres, but you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
classical music is not the pinnacle of music. The classical Western writers are not the pinnacle of literature. And the European painters are great in their own way, but let's try to experience art from different cultures too that are non-white, non-Western.
And decenter. Look, and let's be honest, like some of those classical musicians were definitely Black. Okay. So all of the music we know today, like, is Black music that was appropriated. So, like, decolonization looks like literally undoing the whitewashing of it, right? And it can start with a little thing like what I've always talked about, which is that tango is Black music, right? And I don't know if I've even officially talked about that. Maybe I'll do an episode on that. But my point being is that, like, there was already art. There was already art. Indigenous art is beautiful. African art is beautiful. Like indigenous to any part of the world, right? So of course that includes Africa. But like we have to like look, I love my girl, the Mona Lisa, okay, with her little smug smile, but like we gotta move beyond her. Like we gotta move like the canon in every single field, the literary canon or the art canon, like is colonization. And like, by the way, give back all of the artifacts, you motherfucking bitches.
Please.
Like, because charging $25 to get into a museum full of stolen art, what are we doing here?
For real. If anybody wants a great book recommendation on how atrocious stolen antiquities are, you should read a book called Chasing Aphrodite.
Love that. We love a
Yeah.
good book rec. We love a good book rec. So, yeah, I mean, I love us so much. We could go on forever. I think this is a great mic drop moment for us to end for now. Where can all of our followers and listeners follow you?
Oh my gosh. Well, I exist on the internet. I have a website, elisemade.com, where I sell knitting patterns and all kinds of things that I hand make. I sell a bunch of candles and recycled vessels and stuff like that if knits are not your thing. I'm on Instagram at Elismade. I'm starting a club for radical crafters. So if you're a knitter or a crocheter, a sewist, and you are pro-Palestine and are a defender of leftist values, come on over. We'd love to have you.
Yay! Oh my God, I literally love you so much. We're gonna put out all of that in the show notes. I'll take this opportunity to say again how amazing Elise is. Follow her on everything. She's also got her work cut out for us in the editing space for this one. Again,
I love
literally, thank
us.
you so much. I love us so much. Thank you to all of our listeners. Follow us, follow me, follow Anticonquista, leave us ratings, reviews, all of that stuff because we need to continue growing organically, because voices like ours need to be heard more, and because we're beautiful queens. So thank you so much for another episode. Elise, I cannot thank you enough for not only doing already all of everything I do, but also being on the pod for the first time.
God.
And I
Thank
know
you
this
so
was
much.
hard. So thank you. You're amazing. Everyone follow Elise, buy her stuff. Love you.
Thanks, y'all.
See you soon.